Alright everyone, welcome back to the shop. It's Sunday morning, the 17th I believe. Sure, I think it's the 17th of June, and it's hot. It's really hot. There's almost no wind and it's humid, so it's just it's gonna be a nice warm day outside. So what I'm gonna do before I get everything set up by the front of the house to get that plane started up again, what I'm doing right now is I'm putting on the little heat shield, and it was this is the name of the product, and I got it from Amazon. It was reasonably priced, and let's see how well it works. So what I did is I made a quick little template out of paper. So, and I'm just going to cut everything apart. So once it's all cut apart, I'll grab the cowling and put it on and show you why everything is cut out a certain way so that everything will work, but still give it as much protection as needed. Alright, let's see how well I can show you how it's going to go on. What I did was I just kind of went in with a pencil, and I don't know if you can see it, and I traced some lines out how I want it set up, and so this was cut to fit in here. So with the hopes that you're going to be able to see this, now we've officially got it put inside, so this will reflect 90% of the heat from hitting the outside, and I had to put this little wedge in it here for the attachment point for the screw. So anyway, that's on. Let me get everything up by the van, and we'll get started. Alright, we're back outside. I'm going to go ahead and waiting for Paul to show up, but he's not here yet, so I'm going to go and get it all, see if I can get it primed and fired up and idling, and I just won't ramp it up to full speed until either he gets here, or I just feel confident that I'm not going to have a problem, because I made that adjustment on the on my starting stand. I don't know if I showed you, but they're two little, probably 8-inch beams that I cut down, rounded, and then have them so they slide down inside by probably about 3.5 inches. So it's good strong wood, so it shouldn't come apart, but it's just one of those little things that's always going to be in question. So let me just get you guys reset up, different angle, so you can see what's going on. And I got the Hero set up, and the Hero is down there, so we can, hopefully you can see it. Yeah, there we go. So I can get a good side view, with the hopes that, you know, it'll look good. Alright, let's try this. Okay, so we're all set up. I got the GoPro turned on, and let's go ahead and see what she'll do. I got fuel. Okay, she's living again. Happy with that, and here's why. Because as you get to spool it up, you're going to be turning more R's on the engine.
Yeah.
So I dropped probably a couple hundred RPM, just like you do on the regular planes, the regular glows. I'm wondering if that's going to make a difference, because it seemed to be a little bit better in transition up to the top, smoother, and then it did have the same typical little burbles, but
Okay.
I'd rather run it a little bit fat.
What pitch are you running?
It's a 2210 or a 2310, 2210. And I can go up to a 24.8, I think, on that motor.
Which would be almost equivalent to the...
Yeah, and then you're going to be turning a higher R, but... all right.
That was, the next thing is, do you have an RPM gauge? I don't have one.
Oh, I got one somewhere. All right, here's what we're going to do. Go drink a beer. No, I'm going to put the cowling back on. And then we'll get it started. Somewhere I got a little globy, and I think it might be inside. We're going to do some testing to see what the RPM's at. Right now, I can still make adjustments through the cowling, so I think we'll put the cowling back on, get it fired up, see how it's running, and then we'll start testing the RPM. But I think I'm pretty good where I'm at, but we'll see. So I will bring you back in when we get the cowling on and running. All right, we got the cowling back on. We got the Globe in hand. Let me get this thing fired up and let's see where she's sitting at. More to go. All right, it's probably about 7 o'clock on Sunday night. Paul and I worked on this thing for probably about an hour and a half total time. And in the video, of course, you notice it took maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes total time with the engine running. But there was a lot of stuff that was done with the cameras off. And removed in editing. What the problem that kept coming up was once it warmed up, once again it was hard to start. You can get it to start, and I'm still not 100% sure if it's either just not a really good spark, but when you test it, you're getting spark. So I don't think that's the problem. I still think it's the mixture, and I just have no idea where to put it on this, because if you make a little bit of a change in either direction, it always seems like it's too much. So what we're gonna do, and this is something, sorry about that, this is something that we spoke about for a while, and we ended up taking measurements. Got my little digital caliper. We came in, and of course we don't have very good lighting here, but we're gonna have to work with it. So what we ended up doing was we took measurements on this little, it's the mounting plate, it's the cap, I guess you want to call it, for the prop. It's like 1.61 inches. So we got a measurement on that. We got the measurement on the outside of the cap screw heads for the diameter of that and the inside diameter. He's got a friend that's done work for me, machine work for me in the past. He's going to go talk to Tom, see if Tom can make me a little spinner cone for this, for a little hub. I put a contact to a buddy of mine, Greg, who actually, Paul knows Greg too, but Greg's done work for me in the past. Put in a call for him, and hopefully I'll hear back from him, because I know he can make the same thing. Now the other thing I will do, because True Turn makes a 1.5 inch and then a 1 3/4 inch prop hub for Cubs. That would work great on the top of this, because Taylorcraft, he worked with Piper. He was the one that made the first Cub. So that's why this thing is what it is. This is what Taylorcraft wanted Piper to do. Piper wouldn't do it. So Taylorcraft just said, hey, I'm out the door, and went and did it himself. So Taylorcraft was the grandfather of the Cub. So anyway, so what I can do is I can get that prop hub, and then I can use my starter on it. Because once you've got an electric starter on it, if it had an actual electronic ignition that was battery powered, where you're advancing the timing, it makes those things a lot easier to start. When you're working off a magneto, it makes it a little harder to start. My Piper Cub, probably about 50% of the time I can get it started by hand. And if you go to start it by hand and you can get it where it just starts popping but doesn't want to go up 1 or 2 clicks on a throttle and spin it a couple more times. If it just stops wanting to pop, then you have to go get the starter and it fires right up. So I know this will do it, I just need to have a hub for it. So anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to try to get a prop hub set up for it, just because that's what's necessary for the starter, so that way there won't be a question, it will start. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'll give True Turn a phone call, or write him an email. It'll probably be try to get a phone call to see if I can get the inside diameter of their 1.5 inch, or better yet, the 1 3/4 inch prop hub. If that inside diameter is a little bit smaller than the outside diameter of this, that's easy. It's pretty much take this off, go throw it in a mill, and then just take off however many thousandths you need to, and then have it slide over. So I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's going to work with the little step on the inside. So if that's the case, I will get that. This, I think, is 832 tapped on the inside. The true turns are a 1032. So that I could just go ahead and just retap it, and that shouldn't be a problem. I've done that before, and there's enough meat on the inside of that one to make it work. So so that's pretty much all we really got done today. It wasn't as hopeful as I thought, but I did get the carb set up where I wanted to have it set up, because at full throttle it's a little bit on the fat side, but as you start flying through the air, the faster you go, you're going to probably gain about 200 to 300 minimum more RPM on the prop going through the air. So flying through the air, just because of the forward speed. So that should clean it up. If it's a little bit fat on the ground, it should be a little bit leaner up in the air. So that's what I'm going to stick with. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that. So right now, I think the carb's just going to stay just the way it is. I don't want to touch anything, and you know, we'll see what happens. So anyway, I will keep you guys informed and see what I can get done, whether I've got to get a part ordered in from True Turn, or if I can have one made for me. So that's pretty much it for the day. So I will see you guys next time I'm down in the shop. Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. It's Thursday. It's actually early afternoon, Thursday the 21st of June. And let me just kind of show you where we're at. The last time you saw me, I was calling it a day from trying to get the plane started. It was hot, and the plane was not agreeing. So here's what we ended up doing. We ended up making a prop hub for it. A friend of mine, Paul, you've seen a couple of videos. He's got a neighbor, Tom, that's a retired machinist. Came in, we drew it all up, got all the measurements, and Tom went ahead and spun it out. It looked good. There's a couple little changes I wanted to make to it. So when it showed up here, what we ended up doing was once again turning my drill press. Turn my drill press into a lathe. So that's what they call those vertical lathes. So what I did was I took a couple bushings. They're little mount bushings. Oh, they're about yay big. Little teeny bushings. They were the perfect size for the bolt that holds that on. Slid it through, put it on the back side of it, tightened it down, put it in the drill press, and in about 20 minutes I smoothed out, kind of got it to the way I wanted it. But we did spin it up with the starter. The problem is that we're working on it in here because I've got 2 days off, and this is what it's doing. I've just had the worst case of bad days off. So today and tomorrow, 2 days off, supposed to be rainy and cruddy all for 2 days. Now the good news is that the lettering is supposed to be, the lettering was cut, supposed to be ready to be picked up. I'm just waiting on a call back. So as soon as I get that, I'm heading up to get it. So hopefully I can have the lettering today, and then tomorrow being Friday and not being able to go outside and get it fired up, tomorrow is going to be the day to get that last stripes, the side stripes painted on it, put the decals on it, and then you know, call it done till I can get it outside. Now that little prop hub has weight to it. It's probably somewhere in the 1.5 to 2 ounces because it's made out of 60-61 aluminum, so it's got weight to it. And as you all know, all the weight that I put to balance it out behind that motor, I'm gonna have to go in and remove some of that. So once everything gets completed, before it gets up to the field to go fly, I'll put it all together and we'll get it all balanced out. So that's going to be, you know, a couple hour process probably, just to make sure that it's properly balanced and ready to go. So anyway, that's about it. I've been kind of redoing the shop a little bit, change some storage around just to get some of the mess out of my way. And then, you know, I'm going to keep working on this just because I got nothing else to do. So, if anything changes, I'll, sorry, just a squirrel running through the rain. Anyway, so if anything changes today, I'll let you know. If not, we'll probably just call this a video, and then I'll see you guys back down here in the shop tomorrow.